Hello, everyone. Welcome to another IT Career Talk with Professionals. And today we have a senior product manager. So, my guest today is Miss Iyah Nuestro. Hi, Miss Iyah.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Nice to be here.
Right. You have a very nice background, no?
It's really clean. It looks like a hotel.
Right. Maybe we can start off with you describing your role. What is a senior product manager?
So currently I'm a senior product manager for Talino Venture Labs. So Talino Venture Labs is basically a company that helps build startups.
Mm,
So my role right now, I'm handling the fintech products under Talino Venture Labs. And TLDR, my role is to make sure that my product is launched. And
right,
but
right.
in a detailed perspective, it's making sure that the product specifications are complete, delivery and the tech is complete, design is complete, business and tech are aligned, and then client expectations.
Right. No. And as part of senior product manager, do you code? Is coding part of your work description or your title? And if so, do you what stack do you guys use?
I don't code as much as before
Mm-hmm.
because before I really was a full stack developer.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's quite advantageous to have that skill because for example, if I encounter issues while I'm testing, because I do testing sometimes, I'm able to debug quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually have a copy of the repositories and I'm able to diagnose so that I can quickly tell the developers what's wrong.
Right.
For the stack, it's mostly right now what I'm handling mostly is JavaScript.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Angular and then a bit of Go.
Right. Cool. And if aside from the coding, it has a little advantage, as you mentioned, especially during testing. What other skills and values do you need to have to be a senior product manager?
Um, it depends because uh, being a product manager, you can actually come from different backgrounds. I've done my research before transitioning, and it's one of those roles wherein there's no one size fits all. So you can be an analyst and become a product manager, or you can be an engineer and become a product manager. And then I've also read of some people who are marketing and sales and they became product managers. And the things that you bring from your previous works, they become advantageous in specific ways. So for example, for me, like I mentioned, the advantage is that I'm able to diagnose tech. And one of the other advantages is I'm able to talk to the devs in a way that they understand.
Right.
Because if I was from business, it will be really hard to talk to the devs, especially those who don't really have a bigger grasp of specific products. So that's in terms of general programming. In terms of front end, for example, for front end development, one of the things that helps me is that when the design team suggests like a framework or
Mm-hmm.
suggests a wireframe, um, I I can quickly assess if it's possible given the current dev team that we have.
Right.
So I would be able to assess how long it can be delivered.
Great. Um, since you manage, teams either directly or indirectly under you, how would you describe your management style?
Oh, my management style has changed since we last worked together. Yeah, because I remember when I was much younger. Um, yeah, I don't think I should have had people as early as back then. Um, because I had a time wherein my management style was really siguro I'll say harsh na lang.
Mm.
It's really masungit, mataray. But right now it's more interpersonal. Like I like being an ate, like a professional ate.
Professional ate. I like that,
Wherein
no? Oo.
yeah, the professional ate wherein you can talk to her um with work style, and then in between the work tasks there are jokes, and then there are personal banter. So it makes it easier for the people that I manage or the people that I work with to talk to me and be frank with me, because I find that it's much better if people are candid, because they would be able to tell you exactly what's wrong
Right, right,
or they're thinking about.
right. And as a professional ate, no, if something goes wrong, ito na. If something goes wrong, right? And you have to tell your team na parang, hey, parang nagkamali sila or what. How does a professional ate deal with that? No?
Um, the professional ate,
Mm.
ano siya, parang, paano
Kasi hindi
ba?
naman pwede perfect lahat ng tao, di ba? So, for
Yes.
sure,
Oo.
oo, as an ate, minsan kailangan mong pagalitan konti, di ba? Pero anong
Mm.
approach nun?
Ano siya? Depende how often it happens.
That,
Yeah, kasi parang, syempre, first time is like, parang mga normal punishment na okay, written memo, ganyan, ganyan. Pero sa akin naman, it's like, um, yung ratio ng niceness and taray is shifting until parang yung first will be like, uy, I saw this, please don't, please try to improve this, ganyan. And then eventually, uy, this is the third time I've told you about this, ganyan. And then, siguro yung mga last stage is, hey, I really have to bring this up na ha.
yan. Tama, tama. Okay. No? So, based on frequency, no? So, parang may first time offense, second time offense, no? Para hindi agad parang super galit, di ba? Kasi, it's expected na magkakamali nga yung tao. Right? No? Siguro, pause muna tayo on this part, no? And let's go back a little bit and ask, paano ka umabot sa pagiging senior product manager, and even before that, paano ka napasok sa IT? No, nung high school ba, parang naisip mo, ay, mag-IT ako kasi ganyan, or parang, parents ba, parang, hey, mag-IT ka kasi gusto yung IT? Yeah, paano ba siya nagsimula?
So, my IT journey was basically, yung, nung panahon ko kasi, hindi pa wow, nung panahon ko. Nung panahon ko kasi, wala pa nung mga STEM strands. So, wala ka like, pagdating mo ng college, or pag-graduate ka na ng high school, like, para siyang buffet. You can choose whatever. So, walang like, okay, mas master ko yung science, so dito. Wala siyang ganon. So, I was really lost. And then, what I wanted was to follow yung favorite subject ko nung high school, which was economics.
Economics, okay.
Yeah, I really wanted to take up economics. Pero, yung parents ko kasi were very persistent na maybe don't take something na hindi masyadong guaranteed yung financial success. This is a very nice way of saying yung mga ganong assertion ng parents. So, sabi ko, sige, what do you want me to take up? And they were like, mag-IT ka kasi mahilig ka naman mag-computer.
Okay. Mahilig ka mag-computer. Anong klaseng computer nun? Sinasabi na mahilig ka mag-computer.
Mahilig ako mag-games. Which,
Mahilig mag-games.
hindi naman ako naging game developer. Pero yun, mahilig ako mag-computer. Mahilig ako kasi mag-tinker ng mga kung ano-ano. Pero, ano ba? Tsaka they wanted me to go abroad.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the things. And then, the difficulty was, kasi, when I first started, I would never forget this, pero when I first started, on my very first day, the subject, the class was program logic formulation.
Okay.
So, nagbibigay yung teacher, one of my favorite teachers ever. Nagbigay siya ng mga example, ng preview, what are languages, nag-talk siya about logic gates, and then I had no idea what those are. Like, zero. Like, yung sinasabi ng mom ko that mahilig ako mag-computer, that's mostly like Excel and Word. Like, pinaglalaroan ko yung formulas. And then when I got there, parang, what are these?
Parang sinabi, mahilig ka mag-Lego, kaya siguro dapat mag-engineering or architect ka, no? Parang ganun. Medyo...
Kasi they didn't have an idea din naman eh. So, and again, hindi rin ako naging game dev. So, hindi ko, ewan ko ba. But yun, I think I got scared that I didn't know anything. And then my classmates, marunong sa mag-HTML at that point. And then a bit of CSS. Siguro I knew a bit of CSS thanks to Friendster.
Yung Friendster na CSS, no? Yun yung panahon.
Oo. Like, I made sure na maganda yung profile ko that. Pero, ayun, I think I compensated by, to be honest, nahiya ako na I don't know anything, so I really studied a lot for it.
Parang extra hard, parang extra effort, no? Para makahabol.
Oo. So those are the times that I was barely sleeping. And then my only motivation is nahihiya ako to not know anything. Pero yun, I was able to graduate naman. And then I really wanted to work because my family, we're not rich. So one of my priorities is to start working. So my graduation back then was supposed to be April. Pero February and March, I was already going back and forth to Manila to do interviews. Para to make sure that when I graduate ng mga third week of April,
may work na.
May work na ako pag-alis, pag-graduate. So I actually had a job na ng May first week. So yun. And that was for a startup din, and then junior software engineer. So okay naman, medyo wow siya. And then imagine like a probinsya na going to BGC for the first time, parang whoa.
Right. Medyo parang big world effect nun. Parang medyo may culture shock. Parang when I was going through it, kasi like nag-BGC bus lang ako. Tapos parang, gusto ko yumaman. Grabe, yun talaga yung naisip ko, gusto ko yumaman para dito ako titira, parang ganun. So, tech-wise naman, that was like one of the pivotal moments. Tech-wise, in terms of career, I was lost for how many years? Really?
Kasi, I really didn't know what I wanted to be as a developer. Kasi, like I mentioned, I wanted economics. And then my parents said, oh, you go IT. And then for my whole stay for my whole college life, my motivation was Iyah. And then I wasn't really hiding the fact that I didn't really like IT. I don't like doing it because it's like I'm an extrovert and it's really an introvert's land. Well, back at the time. And then it's ano pa. Back then, I remember that wala pang 10% yung girls sa batch ko in IT. So, meron pa rin mga preconceived notions and sexism about IT girls. So, parang first few jobs ko, kunyari I have to meet with clients. They would immediately think na graphic design siguro itong ginagawa nito. So, merong frustration in me na I really hate this IT world because I don't think it's the right place for me. Because I've experienced like really bad stuff with people who don't think that anybody can be IT. So,
I was quite lost. That's what we're trying to hope, no? Na change here is that based on all the interviews that I've done, parang anyone can be IT, no? Either as long as you want it or actually, yun nga, ito yung I hope na to our audience, no, you'll see that IT is very big and very, I would say, there's really a lot of IT, within IT, parang madaming specialization pa and madaming field na there's always a place for IT for everyone. Yun lang yung hope ko rin.
Tsaka ano din, IT, for me, IT now is my favorite thing. Yeah, ang layo ng jump from not wanting or liking it at all into loving it.
So, paano nga ba yan? Yan. Yes, marinig nila yan.
My first few years, siguro my first two jobs or first 3 years working, I was still really hesitant about it. Like, ayoko talaga. Like, one of my aims was to save up for money and then take another course so that I can escape it. And then, it all changed when, kasi one of my dreams in life is to make positive change. Like, to help people. If you can remember. I can remember pa yung interview natin before it. One of my dreams is to help people.
Right.
And then when I realized, when it sinked in na IT is really powerful in a way that it can really help. It can enable. Like, it's not direct. Na parang, okay, like feeding people. Hindi siya direct. But you can enable people to have better lives. So, when that came, dun na parang, okay, maybe I should start studying more. And then maybe I should have a different mindset. Like, I look at it differently. Kasi, one of the favorite advices that I got from one of my friends is, she kept telling me to know your currency. It's basically knowing what you value.
Right.
Because that will be your best motivator. So, I spent years trying to figure out what my currency was. And then, apparently, yun nga, it's social change. And then, if you use that as your motivator, you would be able to strategize your path better. Unlike, kunyari, there were quite a few years that I was trying to say na, do it for the money. Or do it for the fame, or do it for the clout, do it to get to go to a different country, pero they don't work. Deep down, parang hindi ako masaya. So, that mindset change, it helped me. Kasi eventually, I started loving IT, and then before talaga, I tried to compartmentalize my life, wherein IT is just 8 to 5.
Right.
And then outside that, I will tell people na, I work with computers, but let's talk about something else. Ngayon, I'm like, I'm in IT. This is what I do. This is what I think we can do about it. So, yeah. IT is, to be honest, I think what's good about IT is that there are many paths into loving it. You can find, like, parang it's all about timing, wherein a person can just really find one thing that can steer them into liking IT. So yun.
Right. And I think this is where you really shine na siguro as a product manager, no? Because you are designing a solution to change, or at least, to solve a problem. So may parang end user, or at least parang makikita mo talaga yung effect ng plans mo, right?
Yeah, actually, the past few months have been quite exhausting, pero because we're about to launch a product. But I could confidently say that it's only exhausting physically, but not like mentally or emotionally, because I've been able to pinpoint the things that could make me happy and like tide me through it. So kunyari, I spend like 2 weeks or 3 weeks being tired about working, ganyan. But the moment I hear a client say, this is really good, we are happy with your delivery this week, parang, okay, I can work na ulit.
Right. No, parang there's a sort of fulfillment because of the appreciation of that you're able to solve your clients' problems, no? You did mention a little bit about you have a new product that's launching, and I guess this is what you're passionate about at the moment, which is launching new products. Aside from that, or maybe either aside from that, or do you want to talk more about that, on what you are passionate about?
So what I'm passionate about is, it's helping people. And then I've had a lot of experience with banks. That's why I was so happy when they offered me a position to handle the fintech products. So the difficulty of it is wala akong financial background. But my real aim in life is for financial inclusion, especially here in the Philippines.
Right.
I'm seeing this path as para siyang training, so that I would know eventually how to help people. Kasi like a huge percentage here in the Philippines are unbanked.
Yes.
They have really big trust issues with digital banks. And then you can't really blame people. Kasi kunyari, people tell other people na, you should invest, ganyan, or you should think of the long-term stuff.
Right.
And then you have to see the other side of the coin we're in. They can't really invest if they're thinking about what to eat tomorrow.
Yeah, yung parang daily nila, no?
So, yun yung mga iniisip ko gabi-gabi.
And also, yun nga, very challenging tong fintech or banking the unbank. Kasi right now, aside from the technology, it's also a change in behavior a little bit. Especially na parang minsan may mga scammers din, no? Yung parang
Mm.
and grabe yung sometimes yung victims nila, yung ano pa talaga, yung parang dapat hindi ma-victim kasi kawawang kawawa na, no? So,
Oo. Yeah, I've seen stories wherein yung mga victims are like OFWs, and then their kabayan accounts na parang sila social engineer, tapos ang ending yung life savings nila end up being zero.
right, no? So mahirap nga yun, no? Hopefully parang may financial technology maturity din eventually mga tao, no? Para less na yun, at least medyo slightly traceable yun, konti. So may chance pang ma-reverse, no? As long as everyone is yun nga, follows magkakaroon lang ng better fintech experience, hopefully. Speaking about launching a product, currently, especially in our remote setting, no? How do you feel about the remote setting or remote working?
I would really prefer to being with my workmates in person. Kasi it's very hard to not see like body language and facial expressions.
Right.
Like when you are coordinating with multiple people. But it's also advantageous because, for example, now my client is in the Middle East, so parang medyo it came naturally na okay, hindi ako nag-transition na parang mag-adjust that they are in the Middle East, and then some of my teammates are in the US. So it can be advantageous because everybody can be anywhere. Kasi it's also taxing. Like, for example, in the Philippines, you leave your house, you commute for God knows how long, and then you go to the office, and then you're expected to work like a really long set of hours, tapos commute ulit. Commute really is exhausting.
Right.
So, I'm really glad to not have to do that anymore. Pero, yun nga, can't have everything. So.
True. No? And siguro, last two questions na lang I have, no, is people will ask, how do you get into a company na parang global setting talaga sila? Yung parang, where the team is all over the world, and so parang naturally, yung parang remote working is really their original setup. How does one prepare, or parang how does one chance upon that? Is that something like may certain skills, hindi mas skill set, may certain things ka bang dapat i-pursue para mas hireable ka on a global setting na ganyan?
Yeah. It actually depends on the company, or if not specific company, at the type of company that you want to apply for. Because you can't really mold yourself in a way that would fit every single thing. Like, for example, what makes you very hireable in a startup, does not make you very hireable in corporate. So, for example, in usual startups, in most startups that I know of, one of the assets is to be a generalist. Like, knowing everything, na kahit back-end ka or full stack ka, kailangan infra, or you're able to change languages very quickly.
Right.
Wherein in corporate setting, one of the really prescribed items is that you must be a master of a specific thing. and then you need to have certificates on it, and then you have to know end to end of, for example, that specific language, but not necessarily the languages around it. So it depends on what you want, what organization you want to join.
Right.
So yeah, I experienced the different organization types. That's why okay. So if this is startup, try to build your portfolio, or if you're going for a really corporate setup, or go for your certifications and stuff.
Right. So, my last question is a combination of two questions, no? Parang it's about, how to be successful like you, in a sense na parang wow, na parang bahay hotel, no? Parang how to be successful like you. Parang how to be you po. Parang ganyan.
Actually, I would like to point out muna na my definition of success is as long as I'm happy.
Right.
So that's one of the things, like I mentioned kanina, to be successful is to know what you value.
Yung
So
currency mo, no? Sabi mo.
your currency. So my currency is really happiness. Like not necessarily like yung iba money, yung iba time, and one is not better than the other.
Right.
It just so happens that my currency is happiness. And then what makes me happy right now in the position that I'm in is that I really pursued to know what would make me happy, and then I really studied for it, so that's part of pursuing it. And the other one is to really take care of yourself while you're pursuing, because pursuing what you want, it can be exhausting, especially if you don't know what you want pa. So it can get hopeless sometimes, na parang where do I really fit in? Because a lot of the young ones that I'm talking to right now, I don't know where I want to be. And then how did you know where you wanted to be? I'm like, oh, it takes years.
Right. Oo. Tama. So, parang in that sense, would you say dapat magmadali sila malaman, or parang it's also okay to explore para eventually malaman nila?
I'm really an it depends girl, because not everyone has the luxury of waiting. So for example, if you have the luxury to do it, wag kang magmadali. Because anything that's worth it, hindi dapat minamadali.
Wow. Parang quotable yun ah.
Diba? But if you don't have the luxury and you still want to do it, try to allocate like some small percentage of your day or of your life to looking for it, until eventually that percentage will add up and it can be your full-time thing. So yun.
Right. All right. Thank you so much, no? And audience, I hope you guys learned something there. And if you are watching on YouTube, you can always comment below, no? To follow up any questions or anything that you guys want, girls and guys, to learned. I hope you guys did. And for those that are listening on maybe Spotify or on other platforms, you can also always message me. No? Yeah, do you have any last words for our audience?
Know your currency. My favorite thing. Yeah.
Right. No? And when we're talking currency here, guys, hindi to parang Dogecoin, no? Na ganyan. Parang know yourself. Ganyan. Right. All right. So thank you so much, and that ends our show. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
And of course, if you like our content, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell.